Hello everyone, 42 CEO back here with another video. And today we're going to be talking about Ken Carson and his sales number for the first week and what he's got planned, future. Talk about the negative kind of connotation that his sales numbers have had and how I really don't think it's the worst thing in the world. I think people are making it out to be something it's not. That's just my opinion. But we will talk about it. First question I want to ask, it's been about a week since the album dropped. In your guys' opinion, what are your thoughts on the album? How does it stack up versus, of course, A Great Chaos and prior projects from Ken Carson? Wanted to find that out first. But what I will say is right now, final projections have it at Ken Carson selling 63,000 units first week. That, of course, could change. It's the final projections, but it's not the final number. The final projections, of course, are a lot closer than the midweek projections, which the midweek projections had it around 67,000, and now it's at 63. So it'll probably sell around 63, maybe plus or minus like a few thousand, but it's going to be in that range. What he is selling is he's going to be doing a number one debut on the Billboard chart, so that's really impressive. His first ever number one debut. I had seen somewhere that his last debut for A Great Chaos was number 11. I thought it was number 9, but it was around that range nonetheless. Now he's getting his first ever number one hit, though. Absolutely insane and massive for him. Now, a lot of people are getting, not mad, but just arguing, saying that it flopped. Basically, they were kind of expecting him to hit around 70, 80, 90K. A lot of people were actually saying over 100K. I'll be honest, too. I was saying around 80K. So I was about 15 to 20,000 units off that, which is kind of a large margin. I'll be honest, it's kind of a large margin. But, I mean, it is what it is. And we'll talk about, how I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. Because what I will say is when you think about More Chaos, it's kind of just an extension in a larger deluxe off of A Great Chaos. So I think Ken Carson would have definitely benefited if he had dropped it sooner, between A Great Chaos. I think that would have helped him a lot more. But he didn't. It is what it is. We are here now. He still had an improvement of about 15,000 units sold from his last album. Now, that isn't a whole lot, but in this industry, an improvement is an improvement. And especially with the new Billboard rules as well, kind of, hurting bundle sales and how that affects the first week sales overall, I think we can account 63,000 units as a big win for first week. Now, of course, we want to see that number bigger, larger as fans, right? We want to see him hit crazy success, but I think he will in time. I just think this next project, this next album has to be something a little different. It can't be relating to A Great Chaos or More Chaos, right? It has to be a new era. And I think that's what he's going to do. I think he will kind of complete that new era. Now, in terms of him dropping, I think it's going to be a while. I do think a deluxe is coming for More Chaos, but I really don't know when. That could be the next few days, it could be the next few months, or could be never. We really don't know. But he has previewed new music since dropping the album, so I'm thinking a deluxe makes sense. In terms of album after, though, probably another year at least we're going to be waiting for that, which is fine, totally understandable, makes sense. He wants to go on tour with this one. He's going to have festivals as well to perform at, so there's a lot that he has to do. Makes sense. He wants to continue with people streaming the same stuff and not add in too much in the mix, so I think it makes sense. But what I will say, 63,000 units sold first week is not a horrible number. People are making it out to be some bad number, even though it was an increase, and they're really comparing him to Yeet. But I feel like it's just kind of, we're getting to a point where it's not really making sense to compare to Yeet. I get it because they were at the same level, they were in the same realm in the underground, but now in terms of their style, genre, everything, they're both rappers, but they're different completely, way different completely. So comparing them, you can do it all you want. I don't really think it makes sense right now. I think it's different. So there's that, because Yeet is definitely killing it and Ken Carson's killing it too, but I just hate to see them being compared because I think they can both be successful and both kill it, just in different ways. Now, what I will say is Ken Carson has a lot planned, which is really amazing. Of course, we talked about the tour, and he's doing some vinyl signings in different locations. Well, he was doing New York. I think he'll do different locations, though. So he's got a lot going on, but also too, he is supposed to be on Young Thug's album. He actually just reposted confirming, but there was a snippet that I dropped of Young Thug and Ken Carson. And so he's basically confirmed and has confirmed that he is on the Young Thug album, which is absolutely incredible. That is a huge step for him. I know other artists have done it before, like in that same space, aka Yeats, but still, I mean, I think it's insane. Also, Thug was on Yeat's project. Yeat was never on Thug's project. Nothing against him, I'm just to clarify. Ken Carson being on Young Thug's project, I think, is absolutely huge. I've heard there's a Travis Scott feature on there as well. Not too sure about Playboi Carti or other artists. A lot of people were asking if 1300 Saint or Not Vicious were going to be on there, but we really don't know if that's the case. Now, I do think that's really huge. That snippet is kind of, giving him a little bit more traction. And I think Young Thug being able to drop and probably going to do very well commercially will give more traction to Ken Carson too. He'll be able to perform that song, and maybe there are opportunities where they can perform the song together. So we'll kind of see that happen. But, I think a lot of people are kind of like talking down on Ken Carson right now, and I really don't think it's worth it. I don't think it makes sense. I enjoy the album. I really do like the album. Of course, people are entitled to their own opinions, but I think assumptions and different things are being said about him, and I just wanted to come on here and say I think 63,000 units is very successful. #1 debut on the Billboard charts, very, very successful. And, of course, the song with Young Thug, also successful. Now, in terms of the tour, I think the tour is going to be a very, very big smash hit. I think a lot of people are very excited for it. I'm hearing from, of course, Ken Carson's manager, it looks like potentially an arena tour. So we'll see if that's actually the case. Looks like they're trying to book Barclays Center, which is where the Brooklyn Nets play. So arena in New York. We'll see if it's just arena for the larger cities or for every city. I'll be very interested to see. I have a very good idea of like what venue makes sense for him. So I'm thinking if it's not the Shrine, what I think would make the most sense is probably Forum, which I think is doable, honestly. The way that I think he would do it and cut it off is probably makes sense for him, Forum. It'll be interesting to see if he can actually do the Forum, but if he wants to step up, that's what would be the most appropriate step up. Anyways, I think Ken Carson is still headed in a good direction. I think a lot of people are just kind of hating on him now because they always want to be hating on something. Anyways, though, I appreciate you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. I know we're at this same setup we've been at. It's because I'm in the Bay Area. The next video that I make on this channel, unless it's an emergency video, will be at my normal setup. I appreciate you guys nonetheless, though. Really means the world for all your support, everything like that. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys next time.